Hello, and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora, and I'm very happy to be spending some time with you today. It is April 30th. Wow. A good chunk of 2021 is over already. Maybe spring has sprung where you live. Maybe you have summer all year round. For those of you who just came out of winter and are anxious for spring and summer, I feel you so much. Today I want to talk about pandemic burnout. I will title it well so that people who felt pretty good and awesome during the pandemic are not tempted to listen to this episode. This episode is for you if you're sick and tired with all this BS, with all the uncertainty. When uncertainty is giving you huge anxiety and frustration. Maybe you don't know when you're going to see your family again. Maybe you don't know which job you want to work when all this is over. Maybe you started to change your job and do things over Zoom, over the internet, and you find it's okay, but not really a piece of cheesecake, like I like to say. Those are very troublesome times for a lot of people. The uncertainty, the frustration, maybe money issues even are so heavily weighing us down. By the way, I have the window open and the wind is very strong today, so maybe you hear the whistling in the background. And maybe you can imagine already where I'm going to guide you to today when you feel so frustrated and run down. It is namely back to yourself, back to your heart, and maybe even connecting you with nature. Because one thing is for sure, nature will always be a place where you can replenish, where you can recharge your batteries. Nature is always going to be there and support you, and nature teaches us resilience and patience. I invite you to go for a walk here very soon, if not today, if not right now. Put a jacket on and take me with you. And have a look at the trees. Have a look at the adversity, sometimes even hostility those creatures have to go through. And still they stand there strong and they do their thing, namely producing oxygen for us. And through their root system, being deeply entwined with other trees and plants, giving off nutrients, taking in nutrients from the soil, living in symbiosis with mushrooms in the soil. So I want you to imagine yourself being a tree today. And if it's hard for you to imagine yourself being a tree, then I want you to see yourself as a little wheel in a huge, complex system. And that system right now is shifting and changing. And you just feel like, you have to go with it, and it feels uncomfortable because change always feels uncomfortable. And this is why I invite you to go outdoors. If you live close to a beach, then go for a walk at the beach and switch on all your senses. Your smell, touch the sand, look at the sea, look at maybe shells, And then again with your feet, maybe you're barefoot and you feel the sand between your toes. Maybe you absolutely hate that picture, but maybe you absolutely love it. If you live close to a forest or a park, walk barefoot in the grass. You know, sometimes we feel totally exhausted, but all it is that we consume too many toxic news. We had too many toxic conversations that are not uplifting and good. And now we have to do everything again to feel ourselves again. And the best thing to do that is when you switch on your senses. Taste, smell, and then you see and you hear. You go outside into the nature and you take it all in. You touch a couple trees or you touch some leaves. You deeply breathe in and smell the freshness. And you can sometimes even taste nature. Like where I live here in the mountains, we have so many berries. We have so many little things that you can chew on and they just taste so incredibly good. Little needles, little plants, things that native people would teach us to use as medicine. So please know, if you are totally exhausted and overwhelmed with this situation, you're not alone in this. And there's nothing really you can do about this. You can accept it and start to be at peace with it and know that it's going to pass. Or you can fight it and totally exhaust yourself and even get sick of that. So what I invite you to do today is sit with yourself, meditate with yourself, be with yourself, or if the weather allows, go outside and explore. Drive somewhere where you've never been. And I know sometimes when we do things by ourselves, we feel so pathetic, you know, just like standing in a group of people and everybody is smoking or on their phones, and you're a non-smoker and you forgot your home in the car or at home. You feel like the most pathetic person in the world, right? So be that person. I invite you to be that person, because that person lives with all their senses switched on. That person goes out and explores and wants to know more and is against the nature of numbing yourself out and over-consuming news that are not serving you and not helping anybody. I know you're so tired. I know you want to move freely again. I know you want to go to a bar, you want to meet friends, or maybe you just want to be able to travel again and see your family. Trust me, I know how you feel, and all I can do for you is share with you what I am doing to keep sane in my brain. If you love to listen to music, then please don't hold back and listen to music day in, day out. When you have a shower, make it a fun experience and switch your music on. Enjoy your body. Be grateful for the water that you have. I think those times right now can teach us something. They can either break us or really let us become deeper people with more depth when it comes to emotions and expression, people with more depth when it comes to experiencing life. When you wake up in the morning, be grateful to be awake, be grateful to be without pain, be grateful to have a full fridge, Be grateful that you can go out into the streets and go for a walk. Be grateful to be and to be seen, to be heard, to be able to express yourself, to breathe freely. This is the focus I want you to have when you feel your struggle, when you think it's just getting too much, like it's all too depressive, it's too long, you feel too trapped, too restricted. You know, there's people who've been in jail for 20 plus years. There's been people in solitary confinement, and they managed to control their brains to a degree where they were becoming a little more okay with their situation. They knew they had no choice but to become one with themselves, with their heart and their mind, and to use their mind as a tool instead of the mind using you as a tool. Do not engage in every thought that you have. Thoughts can be very toxic, and thoughts can bring you to very dark places. When you feel and see yourself going into a dark place with your thoughts, with your mind, come back to your breath. Come back and see everything you have around you and deeply appreciate what you have around you. Take absolutely nothing for granted. Not your freedom, not your possessions, not your deep connections, because it can be taken away from you at every moment of life. And that doesn't mean to live in anxiety and fear and clinging and overly attaching. It just means appreciating a little bit more. And soon you will be free again. And soon the wild years will come, because we're all wild animals who have been trapped for too long now. And when that happens, we react, we respond as soon as we feel freedom again. And it will be a feast. It will be beautiful. It will be a time of reuniting and celebrations and a deeper sense of life, I think. A deeper appreciation of true human connections. Don't get me wrong, social media is awesome, but we're all so thirsty for deep connections, deep conversations, loyalty, respect, understanding. And we will all get that. But for now, we have to give it to ourselves. We have to be there for ourselves. And know that it is okay to feel frustrated. It is okay to be so angry. But don't let it consume you. I'm gonna let you go for now. I'll be out there tomorrow again. Take really good care of yourself. Maybe go for a walk right now with some good music or with another episode of mine here. And have a huge glass of water.